Coming up on today's show, we got a casserole that can be a main dish or a side dish. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne.
And we have a couple submitted recipes this week, which I'm really excited about. Denise Brosart had submitted a Pierogi Casserole, which is a great meatless dish. You could use it side dish or main dish. And also Marge Dangle also submitted some more great recipes for us to try. A cabbage slaw, is that what I understand we're going to make tonight?
Cabbage, carrot, coleslaw, whatever.
Okay.
Yes, it's really a little different twist, and I'm so excited with it. And it's just so great that, you know, Marge has taken her time to submit some more recipes, because she's a great cook also, and she loves to cook. So anything we get from her, we know is going to be good.
I'm excited. So let's see what we got going.
Okay, with the Pierogi Casserole, I'm going to turn on the burner because we're going to saute some onions.
Okay.
And then we can get that going here. And we're going to put, we use 8 tablespoons of butter, but we're going to put 4 in the frying pan to saute the onions.
Okay.
And so we'll get that going. And I've already cut up 8 medium-sized potatoes. And I've got, you know, we cooked them until they were soft, and I drained them.
Okay.
So you want 8 medium potatoes, just cook them like you're going to make mashed potatoes.
Okay.
And drain the water, and because then we're going to mix all that, you know, all some ingredients together for that. So.
Okay.
All right, so we just want to get this melted here.
And this is a recipe, again, it's meatless for those people that are vegetarians out there that might be looking for something different. It's going to have plenty of flavor with the onions and butter in there.
The butter, there's cheese, cheddar cheese, Parmesan cheese. So it's, yeah, a wonderful, like I said, side dish. And you know, we might be surprised to know how many vegetarians are out there. And this is great for that and stuff too. And, you know, for different occasions or whatever, you know, when you want that meatless dish. And it's something that really would be easy to take to a potluck.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you were going to something to have a potluck or whatever. So that would really be nice to take. And that, so.
All right.
Okay, we got our butter melted. So it says to just slice 2, you know, fairly large onions.
Okay.
So I've got that all cut up in here. And it says to, you know, slice them. So that's what I did. I would think you probably could dice too if you would like. But, you know, I just have a nice little slicer that I could make them really nice and thin. So
okay.
If you're able to do that. And anytime you're sauteing, you know, I don't like to put them in a chopper that's going to make them too mushy. You got to be careful with that, because you want...
You could puree them pretty easy.
Yes, it doesn't take long. So while we're having that in here, you know, to saute, just until they're, you know, kind of tender, we're going to take our potatoes, and we'll just come over here, and I'm going to put them in my mixer. So you can, like I said, put them in the mixer, or you could mash them by hand.
Okay.
However you know you'd like. So like I said, they're just soft here. And we'll just put that in over here. Start getting that blended, and then we're going to add a half a cup of milk.
Okay.
And the 4 tablespoons of butter. We're going to add that in here. We'll go ahead and just bring them on over here. And while the potatoes are nice and hot, I'm going to add the butter.
Yeah, that'll melt that nice.
Yeah, that'll take care of that in a hurry. So now we're going to add half a cup of milk.
Okay.
And I'm going to just turn that on low and just kind of gradually add that so we don't have milk flying all over. And this is going to make your mashed potatoes pretty soft, so it's going to be easy to layer.
Easy to spread.
That's it, yeah. So we'll just mix that a little bit. And then it asks for 1 3/4 cup cheddar cheese, but we're going to only put a cup of in with the potatoes because we're going to put the rest on top.
Okay.
You know, when we bake it. So I'm going to put a cup of cheddar cheese in there. And then it's also asking for a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. So we're going to put a 1/4 cup in the batter with the potatoes. And then the other a 1/4 cup we're going to put on top.
Sounds great.
You know, when you baking that and just melt that cheese, that's going to be just great. So we're going to just let that mix a little bit. And I'm going to come over here and just check our onions.
Well, those are softening up.
Yeah. And it's not that we're trying to brown them. We're just wanting to get them a little bit tender.
Okay.
And the onions are just going to go in between when we're layering, you know, on top of potatoes there. And I had, I'm going to turn the burner down a little bit. I cooked lasagna noodles. It says, you know, 6 to 8 lasagna noodles. But, you know, if you do 8, you're going to get it nice. The 4 will lay right across your pan. And, you know, you'll have a nice amount. But I didn't count good. I got 9. So we'll put them in half and we'll put them on top. I'm not going to waste it. So we'll just get that. That looks like that's blended, mixed well.
Okay.
So we'll just get that off here. And it's not one that just takes very long to put together either. So.
And then we're going to bake this. You said you preheated the oven to 350 degrees?
Correct. For about 20 minutes, I believe, is what the recipe calls for. And just till, you know, and you're starting out with, you know, your potatoes are warm, you know, your onions are hot and everything. So it shouldn't take that long, you know, to bake. You know, so 20 minutes should really be pretty good. So, okay, I need another spoon here. First, what it asks is just to put a small amount of mashed potatoes in here first before we layer the, you know, the lasagna noodles in there. So we're just going to put a little bit. And I did put a little bit of shortening in my casserole pan here.
Okay.
So
just so it doesn't stick.
Right. So just get that spread out there.
These would be good just mashed potatoes to eat just like that.
You know, I think, you know, with the butter and the cheese and all that in there, it'd make excellent mashed potatoes. It kind of reminds me of your twice baked potatoes.
Yes.
You know, so. Okay. I'm going to just come over here and stir my onions one more time. And it looks like they're getting pretty soft, so I'm going to just turn the burner off.
Okay.
And just come back over here. And, you know, I'm going to just take my hands and kind of push down the potatoes. So, you know, you're doing that with the spoon and it just
kind of
it sticks a little bit and you don't get a nice even layer. And the potatoes are warm, but they're not hot to the touch, so. Because like she said, you know, you just want a thin layer of potatoes on the bottom. And you're able to, you know, get that spread out a little bit more easily just by patting it down with your hand. So we got that. So now we can layer our noodles there. And that's the one that's...
Looks like it's split pretty much in the middle.
So, right, we're going to use that extra one for the on top there. So just layer that 4 in there and stuff. So, okay. And thing too, you know, I did add salt to my water when I was boiling the potatoes.
Okay.
So we can add, you know, a little bit of pepper and maybe just a little bit of salt in here. But you want to make sure you know, if you add salt to your potatoes when you're boiling it, you don't need as much.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go ahead and add about a half a teaspoon of pepper.
Okay.
And again, that's going to be just, you know, pretty much to your taste. And then I'll probably about a half a teaspoon of salt, not too much.
Okay.
You know, because with that butter in there too, you know, butter has,
Oh,
you know, your salt and that, so. And then we want to reserve, we're going to layer this, but we're going to keep a, you know, a little bit back to make that second layer.
Okay.
So. Again, we'll just put that in there.
And there's nothing wrong with using your hands.
That's right. So I think, you know, you want to make sure you have at least a good cup or so for that top layer. So we're going to just push that down in there.
Now, this is going to be an interesting dish because, I mean, the ingredients going into it are really good, and I'm excited to taste this. It's something different that you normally haven't made.
No, this isn't something that, you know, we grew up with. And we were kind of discussing, trying to figure out what nationality this might be, but, you know, you can be any nationality to like this dish.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. So now we've got that nice and even spread there.
Okay.
So we'll just move this to the side for a moment. And then I'm going to get the onions. And we're just going to put that on top there. Oh, that should going to give us such a wonderful flavor.
And they did soften up. They got a little bit brown, but they look great.
Just a little bit, and you know, that's fine, you know. So like I say, you know, sauteing, you know, sometimes, you know, you'll have it to where that's going to be a little bit brown, but there's so. Okay, I'm going to put that pan back over here, and now let's go ahead and layer our other noodles. And what I did with these, I did, you know, cook them prior, you know, there, and I put just a little bit of olive oil on them so they wouldn't stick together. So when I wanted to layer, they would work nicely and they wouldn't stick. And I'm going to just put a little piece on that end there, and so. Okay.
That works great.
Yes. Now, we're going to go there, and let's put the rest of the potatoes on there.
So this is actually going to be a pretty thick, just like a lasagna would, just a very thick dish.
Just, yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, as a side dish, what would be some suggestions that you would have to have a main dish go with this?
You know, a lot of times, you know, a ham. You bake a ham. Mm-hmm. You don't necessarily have, I mean, if you're not, you know, say you wanted potatoes, but it doesn't, well, you can make ham gravy, and a lot of people do like ham gravy, but just to
it's a little bit saltier than what?
Right. You can certainly, you know, I think ham would be excellent with it. You know, I think it's just a matter of, you know, any meat.
Yep.
You know, what you want. Some, you know, meat that you're probably not going to have a gravy for. So, you know, this is where that comes in.
And this would actually be very easy if you were grilling too, to have as a side dish, because it serves a big amount of people. So if you were having company over and you were grilling you know, hamburgers or steaks or anything like that.
Yes,
that would work.
Just to have that extra. Okay. Just trying to get that a little bit more spread out here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's going to know it's going to taste the same.
Yep.
And stuff. You know, as you know, cooks, there's a lot of times we need to cover up a little bit of mistake or something. And it's easily done. Nobody knows the difference. So, okay. It says about a cup, and I think I had a little bit more than a cup here. And, you know, if you have a cup, is probably going to be pretty skimpy to try to make that reach, you know, to layer that.
Okay.
So I'm glad I just had a little bit more there. So, okay. Now we're going to do a fourth a cup of Parmesan cheese. And we'll just use the rest of that cheddar cheese in there. It might have been a little bit more than a 2/3 or 3/4 cup, but I'm not going to just leave that little dab of cheese in there to put back in the fridge. And I want to just make sure I get it all covered here. So, okay. You know, when they say about a half a cup, I guess that looks pretty much, or 3/4 cup. Mm-hmm. And person likes cheese and you want to add a little bit more, you know, go for it. So, and then we're going to put some aluminum foil on here.
Okay.
Just to, when we bake it, so your cheese doesn't get too, you know, when you put your cheese on right away, it can kind of turn brown a little bit, but this way it's going to keep, just melt it really nice. So we're going to have that. Okay, just get that covered, and now let's just put that in the oven there.
Okay. And again, we have the oven preheated to 350 degrees.
Yes. There we go. And so I'll put that timer on for 20 minutes. And then we'll come on over here and we're going to make our salad.
Okay. And we got a lot of interesting ingredients here. I see raisins and nuts and apples. So this isn't just a typical coleslaw.
It's not. And the dressing is a little bit different too, you know, so I was really excited with that, just to have something a little bit different. We use sour cream with that. And
okay.
Some lemon juice. And so I started with 4 cups of shredded coleslaw.
Okay.
2 cups of shredded carrots.
Okay.
We have that. And then we have 2 golden delicious apples that we chopped up here.
Okay.
And you know, the recipe does ask for the golden apples, delicious apples, but I think you could just use whatever that you may even have.
Okay.
And that and stuff, so.
The golden delicious are a little bit sweeter apple, probably not go with a Granny Smith or something a little bit tart.
Right. Mm-hmm. I probably wouldn't use a Granny Smith, but you know, your Fuji or Galas would be, I think, just fine too.
Yep.
So we have 2 golden delicious apples. And now we're going to do a half a cup of chopped walnuts.
Okay.
And if you have anybody that's allergic to walnuts in your family, just eliminate that. That's going to be just fine. And now we have a cup of raisins.
Okay.
And it can be your regular raisins, or you can use the golden raisins too.
Okay.
If you have that. So, okay. Excuse me. Now, using a half a cup of honey.
Oh,
so that's,
great.
You know, pretty neat to have the honey in there, and that's where your sweetness is going to come in.
Well, and it's a natural sugar, so that's always a good thing.
It is. So, get that in there. And then we're going to use a tablespoon of lemon juice.
Okay.
And we're going to just put that in here with the honey. So that's your lemon juice. And I'm going to just use a little wire whisk just to kind of get that blended first. One thing nice, you know, you can certainly say if you're going to take this somewhere, if you're going out for dinner and you wanted to make this, or even at home, you could do all the prep work the night before. You know, cut your coleslaw and you know, your carrots and that. The apples, you know, you probably may not want to cut too soon, you know, prior, because they will turn, you know, color on you. So.
Okay.
That there, and then it asks for a half a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and I just measured that in here already.
Okay.
That. And then it asks for an 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg, and that would be something that, you know, it's optional. You wouldn't, you know, necessarily have to put that in if you didn't think you'd like that flavoring, but we're going to put it in because I think it's going to be a nice additive to that.
Oh, definitely got some different ingredients in the dressing. This is going to be a very unique salad.
Okay, so we'll just get that mixed up, and then I pre-measured a cup of sour cream.
Okay.
And this is, you know, it looks like a lot here of, you know, with the cabbage and everything, but you have a fair amount of dressing here too. So I think you're going to have plenty to, you know, make a good salad, you know. And anytime you have a salad, if it marinates or sets for just a little bit, it'll always get a little bit juicier. So I think we'll find we'll have plenty of dressing. So let's get that mixed up here.
Oh, I could see this would be a great summer salad.
Okay, so we've got that mixed well, and we'll just put that in and around here.
Okay.
And like I said, it's definitely a little bit of twist to what you normally think of a coleslaw recipe.
Yes.
And that, so.
And this is a really creamy dressing too. It's not an oil base.
Yes.
But you got sweeter fruit in there other than just
plain
old coleslaw
all those
too.
ingredients together just going to be really a pleasing taste to the palate, I believe. Like I said, I really enjoy apples and walnuts. Nuts is one of my favorite things, but says that's certainly something you can leave out if you feel that that's, you know, or if you know somebody's going to be allergic to nuts.
Yes.
Especially if you're going to be taking it to a potluck. And again, this would be a great dish to take along.
Well, and when you look at this, like you said, for a potluck, you probably just leave those out because you don't see the nuts in them.
Right. Absolutely, you know, or yeah, that would probably be the safest. But then I don't think people are as allergic to walnuts as they are to peanuts. You know,
Yeah.
Isn't that something that, you know, peanuts
Or even sunflower seeds.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it makes such a beautiful, you know, color to it, you know, with the golden delicious apples, the raisins, the shredded carrots in there. So we're going to just leave that set aside a little bit here, and we're going to wait for our pierogi dish, and we'll feature that. So you have a vegetarian, now they have the pierogi, and they're going to have a nice salad to go with that too.
It's going to be an awesome dinner.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
So we'll be just waiting a few moments yet for the main course here.
All right, sounds great.
Okay, it almost looks like our time is up for the pierogi. So I'm going to get my mitts here, and
Okay.
as soon as the buzzer goes off, we'll be able to take that out. And oh, getting hungry?
I am.
I'm anxious to really see that and stuff. So it'll be excellent. So. Well, you know when it goes to a minute, when you're waiting, a minute's a long time, but there goes our oven. There we
It's a
go.
long time when you're hungry.
Yes, it is. And I'm going to just turn off the oven too because we won't need that anymore. So we're going to just take this out here. And let's just kind of check. Oh, okay. So that's getting hot there, and so we're going to bring that over here.
All right, yep, you can hear it bubbling in there.
Yeah, okay. So we're just going to take out, I'm going to just take this here just to cut that.
This just reminds me of lasagna.
It does, yeah. Okay. So we have that, and you see your cheese on top there. And it was definitely nice just to, you know, grease your pan a little bit on the bottom,
Okay.
so that doesn't stick so much.
And as this coleslaw has set, it has gotten a little bit saucier too. So
Yes, there's a little bit more juice in there, and that's so. And you can put that on, and you know, I think this is a wonderful meatless entree here.
It's great.
And that's so.
It's totally great. And again, thank you so much to Denise Brozart and Marge Dangle for submitting these recipes for us. I'm sure they're going to be family favorites of ours for years to come.
Absolutely.
I can see this coleslaw definitely being made, especially in the summertime. It's awesome. And to submit your recipes, just go to Consolidated's website, www.ctcpotatoes.com, to submit your recipes for us to review. And as always, thank you so much for being